to exam management. For exam management, this is where with this one, it tells you everything you need to know about setting an exam, creating the the terms, the trimesters, the semesters, appreciations, the grades, GPA, mark ranges, and the rest. Gradings, grade A, grade B, and the rest. So if we come to exam term, for instance, we're under exam term. After you create an academic year in a school, we need to define the terms. First term, second term, third term, first semester, second semester, third semester. You have to click on the add button here. When you define, you say exam title, first term, this year, the start date it starts, the end date it ends. That is where you go. So instead of going back to the dashboard and choosing another one, directly here we can manipulate at the top here the mini navigation, the quick link. We can still go back to the exam here. This is where you have competencies. For schools that are using competencies, competencies are like topics that you evaluate on for each subject. There are particular topics so for each subject, maybe mathematics, you gave an assessment based on trigonometry. So if what they wrote on the marks you gave them was based on trigonometry, comments concerning that topic are going to appear in the report card. That is what we call competencies. So competencies, you can add them here. Competencies name, you can say you can say trigonometry for a class as one, communicate in English. That is the name here. You can submit trigonometry, and for these competencies, they can be long. You can type so many things. You can say students were tested on trigonometry, how to use the Pythagoras theorem, this and that. It can be long. So you add. So as you add, based on the subject that you add, they are going to be categorized. So you add competencies based on that. As you add, you choose the subject of the competencies that are going to appear in the report card. For schools that make use of it, they will understand it. So still, I don't know where I was. I think at the level of, we have appreciation and we have remarks. Appreciations can be comments, good, excellent, failed, effort, and the rest. So with this, what you do is that instead of adding something new, please don't do that. Just click on this type here. You arrange everything in order. This is for primary schools, secondary type 1. Now let me explain to you what the difference between the type of primary and the type of secondary. All the type that you see here as primary, this is at the level of report card. It permits us to know which comment goes for which specific report cards. We have to, if a report card has type primary, or if your appreciation has type primary, it means it is for primary schools. It can be for primary schools and colleges. Sorry about this confusion for now. We'll clarify this. We'll make it much easier. This was meant for us developers. Okay, when I was doing this, it was just to clarify myself on some few things. This is just to select the type of report card to print. It is not for your understanding. But now it is giving us some issues at the level of the client for them to modify or understand what they are actually doing here. If we take secondary type 1, secondary type 2, it means if you have chosen the report card that has or that is using the secondary type 2 format. I don't know if I explained this in our earliest video. I think it was explained. Then these appreciations will appear there. If you are using by this type, the ones you have defined with this type will appear. Then for report cards that are using the kindergarten, the nursery is for this, though you see secondary there. So basically, if you are on secondary type 2, just come here. Secondary type 2, you see that it starts from 0 here to 9.99. It means any mark from 0 to 9.99, it will be failed. Any mark now from 10 to 12.99, it will be efforts. Any mark from 13 to 15.99, it will be good. Any mark from 16 to 20 is excellent for this type. That is how you interpret. If you come to secondary type 1, any mark from 0 to 10.99 is this. From 16 to 20 is excellent. From 11 to 15, normally it's in back order. This one had to be here before, but no problem. So now, if yours is not in this order, if you have 0 to 9.99, and for your school, you can still modify. You just make sure that what you are adding does not already exist. Intervals cannot exist at the same time. If fields is from 0 to 9.99, and you want to add something again, okay, I was trying to explain appreciation, and I set for, let me arrange it. We had a mark from 0 to 9.999. If you want to further split this interval into two, might be from 0 to 5, you can call it worst. No, yes, so bad. You can call it so bad. Why from 5.99 to, or let's say above 5 to 9.99, you can call it failed. So we can simply modify this from 0 to 9.99. Instead we take from 0 to 4.99. From 0 to 4.99, we'll give it something. We'll say so bad. They will put a field. So if at all we want to include 5 itself, that means the next interval must not be 5. So it will have to be, might be 5.1. So normally you start from 0 to 4.99 so that the next person is not included. From 0 to 4.99. So bad. For secondary type 2, we have added. Now we arrange again. Secondary type 2, we have 0 to 4.99. We have to add again 1 for secondary type 2. We'll take secondary type 2. We take 5 to grade point, field. They will put here 5 to 9.99. So that these things must not exist as far as this one is concerned. So if we arrange it back now, we see that we have 0 to 4.99 for secondary type 2 here. Then for secondary type 2 again, secondary type 2, where is it? Did I put it correctly? Yes, secondary type 2. Secondary type 2, we had 16 to 20, 13 to 5, 10 to 12.99, 0 to 4.99. Okay, it means some other person is hidden here. This is it. We have not shown all. We can click here or we say show 15 more rule. I will just show all. So this is it. 5 to 9.99, 0 to 4.99, 5 to 9.99. Then we have 10 to 12 point this. It ends here. So you can adjust all of this. So it is just the same thing That was appreciation. So it is just the same thing with what is it? The same thing with remarks. So even if it is if there are remarks, you do the same thing, the same. So let's go back again. The manage exam grades, attendance, suggestion. All of these ones are automatic, no need explaining them. We have already made the system to automatically schedule exams and to automatically mark the exam attendance. So no need explaining this, it's automatic. So that has been explained. The next thing